All right, boys. I'm coming in hot. We gotta just. We've seen the entire Spider-Man movie already. Like, it's just enough is enough. When are they gonna stop? I don't know what's going on.
They're not.
They got
never gonna stop.
They got a fucking fully open production going on here. Nobody on the crew is stopping them. There's just every day we're just getting photo after photo after photo, like, of everything. And maybe these are just innocent pictures. Like, here he is practically swinging around, which looks cool. Costume looks cool. I'm glad. But, like, at this rate, we're going to see the whole fucking movie.
That's what happens when you film in public locations.
But it's almost like they're doing it on purpose. Like, I don't know if this is like a Marvel tactic now to be like, hey, guys, trust us, or like maybe they want people to like babysit the production so we don't think it's dog shit before it comes out. I don't know, but it's really starting to irritate me because you can't even avoid them. Like, if you just go on Twitter, that's all it is Spider-Man shit. I will say though, his costume does look pretty dope. I will say, I am a fan.
It's cool. Yeah,
the costume.
Yeah.
You got an issue with it?
It's all right.
What's the problem with it?
Feels
like a weird blue
flimsy
from this screen.
Flimsy. That's the thing you made fun of people that would criticize the Superman costume for.
Hey, this one looks a little too flimsy.
This is a classic Spider-Man costume right here.
This ain't my Spider-Man. Everybody knows that. So
yeah, we know.
I don't give a fuck about Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Marvin, guess what? I'll have you know. Last night, I watched your Spider-Man.
And it was the best shit.
I watched it with Ed. Shout out to Ed.
Shout out.
I watched it.
I wasn't invited.
Well, it was late and you were probably just definitely sleeping, but I would have invited you otherwise. It was like we watched it at like 1:30 in the morning.
Oh God, yeah, I was for sure sleeping.
you were on your 400th sheep by that point. Long asleep. No, because I've been wanting to watch it since Superman came out, because Superman reminded me very much of the Raimi Spider-Man movies, like we talked about, and so I was like,
yeah,
I'd been thinking about it, so we watched it. Still a banger. It still fucking hits, and let me tell you something. It holds up, and let me tell you, the downfall in the quality of CGI over the years has got to be researched and studied. It is unbelievable. It's crazy. Yeah. Like, you haven't
really the opposite of what you would expect with technology.
Man. Like, you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, but it's very evident in those movies. Like, it's an earlier form of CGI. And like, let's face it, like when there's CGI on the screen, you could tell it's CGI. It's very clearly, the CGI itself is not as good as it is now. But the problem between then and now is back then it was a newer technology and they knew it was fake. They knew it looked fake. So they did their best to try to blend it into the practical effects. Nowadays, it's just...
Jurassic Park, perfect example.
Yeah. And nowadays, just entire fucking movies are being shot on green screens. And it just feels so fake and shitty. I hate it.
Yeah, it reminds me of that Tom Hardy movie we watched recently.
Oh, can't even remember the name of that movie.
Havoc?
There you go, yeah.
Oh my God.
What an awful movie.
Police chase scenes. Every time there was a car on the screen, I was just disgusted.
I was disgusted.
That shit was bad.
It was kind of bad.
I was disgusted. Yo, that movie was awful, actually. Now that I think, I totally forgot about that. But yeah, so I don't know, watching Spider-Man, it was just like really shocking because it's like, wow, the web slinging looked great, especially the chase when he chases the guy who killed his Uncle Ben. Like, it looks fucking good. It looks so good. Like, you can't, like, obviously it's CGI and it's fake, but it's blended so well into a practical shot of a fucking car chase that, like, man, I don't know. It just had me longing for for that time again. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll go back to that. But I feel like it's actually cheaper. That's why they do CGI so heavily now, because it is cheaper. Which
I don't know how it is. I mean, they're spending $300 million on movies now, and most of it's in green screen rooms. So what the fuck?
I don't know.
It's probably cheaper. I don't know. It's probably cheaper because the actors want so much fucking money.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, you're right.
Somehow,
and all the outsourcing or like when they have to like move the location to film so that it's cheaper, they're like, fuck it, we'll just CGI it, or we'll just do it in a green screen somewhere in a fucking warehouse.
But yeah, so enough with the fucking Spider-Man set photos. Like, I don't want to see the whole goddamn movie 2 years before it fucking comes out. Do something. Get the press. Like, they're just like letting the press in there. The pictures are crazy. Usually they're like blurry, grainy shots from a distance. It's like the fucking press are like
4K shot,
like in the fucking movie at this point. Like, Jesus. So anyway,
can't keep getting away with this.
They really can't.
What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
Welcome back to the Harsh Language Podcast. This is episode number 142. And we're talking about weapons today. That's right. We all got to see it over the weekend. And boy, am I glad we did. So stick around for that. That'll be later on in the show. What's so
Sorry,
funny?
I heard your dog.
Oh yeah. How was your guys' weeks?
It was cool. Finally got to have a chill weekend. Didn't have to do any type of events.
Nice.
You know, it's that summertime where there's a lot of things happening.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Cookouts, get-togethers, family events, which I enjoy them, but it is nice to have a break.
Yeah,
and
for
not
sure.
have to, especially, have to work in all week and shit.
Absolutely.
Nice to be able to relax.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool.
Nice. How about you, Dusty? Do anything cool? Like cookouts?
I don't know. I think it was last week, actually. Went up to about 6,000 feet up here in the Sierra Nevadas and watched part of the meteor shower. It wasn't the Perseid, which I think Perseid peaks tonight and tomorrow, but it's kind of a full moon. So if you live in the city, you really won't see it. But yeah, meteor showers, did that. I've been doing stuff with the kids. They're going back to school, though, so get a little peace and quiet, which is nice.
When they
Ready
go
for
back,
that.
what day?
They go back Thursday.
It's so weird. Like around here, they go back Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like just start on a Monday.
Yeah, it's
So
weird. I
weird.
don't know why they do it like that.
Whatever happened to starting school in September?
I think it depends on state.
I don't know.
Depends on the state and the school district. Yeah.
Back in my day, we used to go back till in September.
That's crazy. I always went back in August.
That is crazy. Maybe I'm wrong.
It used to
I don't know.
Piss me off.
I could have sworn it was September, but yeah. You guys watching anything this week or what? I grinded this week. I watched so much shit. It's crazy.
Did you watch Andor?
No. Sorry.
Unbelievable.
All right, so let me break down the list, right? So I Platonic season 2 started this week. I was looking forward to that. I messaged Dusty about it. He kind of blew me off. He was like, "Nice, cool, man."
Wait, what did you message me about?
Platonic that it was starting.
Oh yeah. Well, it didn't start. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I don't remember. I said something, but I was watching other stuff, so
Yeah.
I knew it was coming out. But I got to watch that one by myself because Christina hasn't watched the first season, and so yeah, I gotta just fit it in when I can.
Okay. So that I watched. There was 2 episodes of that. Very good. Nice continuation from where we left off. Excellent show. I would recommend it to anybody who's listening or watching, and to you, Marvin. The first half of the second season of Wednesday dropped as well.
Yep.
Did you watch that, Dusty?
I started the first episode because that's when I am watching Christina, but she didn't get to watch it with me, so I didn't want to burn through the next 2 or 3 without her.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a pretty good start so far.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Her and Jen Ortega and Tim Burton sat down for an interview with the Hollywood Reporter. It's a really long, extensive interview, and I didn't have time to get into it, but I will probably crack into that and maybe have some news on it. They already confirmed a season 3, I think, is one of the bigger details, but I didn't get to read the whole thing, so that's something to look forward to.
It's a really good show. I remember when I started watching season 1. Marvin, you never watched it, right?
Nope, not yet.
Yeah, I remember when I started watching season 1, I was like, is this a kid's show? Like, is this more of like a chick show for kids, like chick kids? Like, I don't know. But it's not. It's actually, it's a very broadly appealing show, I think. And it's just a smart show if you like, not just if you like the Addams Family, but like, it's just a good show. It's building a nice mystery. It's building a nice
It's that Tim Burton effect, though. He makes stuff that is like adult friendly and kid friendly both at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
there's a little bit for everybody.
Yeah,
Love it.
it's got a nice, like, it's got a cool story. It's like a nice mystery. It's genuinely interesting. It's got the creepy and like macabre Tim Burton shit because he was born to do Addams Family stuff.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what, Netflix got to fucking stop with this half season shit. Because it's just like, I know why they're doing it. Netflix they do not want to break form and go by the week to week model. Cause like their whole thing, like they started binge watching, like that's Netflix's like whole shit.
Yeah.
So they can't break it, but they also want to prevent people from buying subscriptions temporarily to just cancel them after they binge watch a show. So now they're doing this like split up season shit.
Yeah.
But it's so stupid.
I feel like, is that even a thing? Do people actually, I feel like it's got to be a low percentage. People are lazy, bro. They're not going to actually buy Netflix to watch a show and then cancel it. It's got to be such a low percentage. I would be curious to know what the percentage is for that.
It would be interesting to know because Amazon went with the we're going to drop 3 episodes to get you hooked, and then we're going to do week to week after that.
Yeah,
and I think Apple has kind of gone to a similar approach because Chief of War just came out too. I don't know if you guys watched that, but
no. I think for Apple it depends on the show, but they mostly do week to week releases.
It's about the start of Hawaii and the colonialization of it, and starring Jason Momoa. Pretty good so far.
Yeah, but honestly, I'd prefer week to week over this like bi-monthly bullshit that they do. It's like, let me live my fucking life the way I want to live it. But I'll be honest too, like I wouldn't mind. Like I know we complain and like joke around about the week to week, like when you're really into something and you want to just binge it. But I think binge watching has like not only changed the way TV shows are made, right? Because that like serialization of shows like in the X-Files or Sopranos or The Wire, like those older shows, you really notice the serialization. And now you don't even notice that anymore. They're shot just like one long continuous movie that's just cut up into individual segments, right?
Yeah.
So while it is annoying sometimes when you're really into something to wait for a week, I feel like there's a little bit of a magic that was lost in the binge watching era because the week to week thing was nice. It's nice to have something to look forward to, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would prefer week to week than just this fucking stupid shit that they do, but that's just me. But yeah, Wednesday's pretty good so far. Actual good mystery, quirky Addams Family stuff, Tim Burton shit. I like it a lot.
The only thing I watched this week was Dexter Resurrection.
Oh, fuck.
That shit is fucking gas. It's so good.
Yeah. I never
it's
even watched the original series.
Oh, man, it's great. It's a long watch, but it's good. This sequel
is a prequel or sequel?
It's a sequel.
Didn't they just do a prequel that wasn't really well received?
No, the sequel actually got pretty good reviews comparable to what this is getting.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so there was a sequel that was like the first Resurrection, which is like
that was like a couple years back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was the prequel sequel,
Jesus Christ,
which was when Dexter was younger.
Okay.
Which also apparently was really good, but I haven't seen yet. But I want to watch it now. I've not watched that either because this is so good. Yeah. And now there's this additional sequel, which is just like the continuance of the first sequel.
The Dexter verse.
It's about him and his son. Yeah, it's just a continuation of that.
It's really good. Did you see the most recent episode?
Dusty? I did. Yeah, I watched it last night. I think it's good.
Gemini. That was so good.
Yeah, that was a good.
That was so good. Yeah, great watch.
Oh fuck.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I started to watch Eyes of Wakanda. That came out, the new one. It seems to be how Wakandans interact with the world in ancient historical times, like one's like in ancient Crete, and then another one's like with Achilles and Troy and the Trojan horse style theme. And I think that's about as far as I got. I passed out.
I heard it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then Chief of War, that one's really good so far. It's about, like I said, the Hawaiian colonialization and their resistance to it. It's a war amongst themselves and the whites.
Interesting.
So they're the Spaniards, I guess. But other than that, no, just been busy with the kids. Summertime.
Is that Wakanda show? Is it just the 4 episodes?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just 4 or 6. I don't remember how many it was, but yeah, just a little mini series.
Yeah, a little animation. I'd heard it was good though, so that's good to know. I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Did you catch up on Resident Alien? Did you finish it?
That I have not watched. We were gonna watch it last night, but we stayed up. We had some guests over, painted some sort of ceramics with the kids, so I didn't get a chance to. But
nice.
It's on the list.
I won't tell you. I won't give you any spoilers, but what a wonderful finale to just a fantastic show. Yeah. So Resident Alien, folks, if you haven't been watching it, it's a kind of a sleeper show. I haven't really seen anybody else talk about it other than us here on the podcast, surprisingly. But I just cannot say enough good things about that show. It was such a great show. It had a great finale. It was hilarious. It was super heartfelt. The show, not the finale, but like the show as a whole. But the finale was
to clarify.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just perfect. I'm actually sad it's over. But like we say, 4 or 5 seasons is perfect.
It's good.
Let
it rest.
The show's final message, and this isn't really a spoiler, is just like, just because something is gone doesn't mean it's not like a part of you anymore. You know what I mean? So this will definitely be one of those shows that I revisit from time to time. Like, excellent show. I think I think it's in my top 10 favorite shows, like, of all time. Like, it's up there. Like, I rank it highly among comedy shows that I like Monk and Scrubs. Like, it's that style of show.
When Alan plays a character, he usually doesn't miss. He's phenomenal from oh my goodness, from Firefly all the way up to this. But I saw a clip of him where he was talking about, not many people know he did the robot in
Superman?
in iRobot.
Oh
no, in iRobot. Because they did test screenings and he was testing better than Will Smith, and so they basically wiped him from all the promotions of it because I guess Will Smith didn't like that.
Really?
But, yeah.
I watched one other thing. Now, I don't know if you've seen this, Marvin. Probably not. There's 0% chance you've seen this. Maybe Dusty hasn't either. But have either of you seen that Dennis the Menace movie from 1993 or something?
Yeah,
I watched it as a kid. I don't know if I haven't seen it in a while.
Of course.
Okay, I'm surprised.
Wow, that's crazy.
I don't know what struck me to watch. Oh, I know what it was. My friend and I were talking about like idyllic little towns and how I wanted to like live in like a little idyllic neighborhood, like a suburb. And I remembered like this movie just popped into my head immediately during that conversation because it is that. It's like this idyllic little town. That's what the movie's about. And how like, fucking, what's his name? Switchblade Sam comes to town or whatever. Christopher Lloyd's character. So the other night I was like, you know what? I haven't watched that shit since I was literally like a child. Let me watch this. Not to be a boomer, but comedies used to be so much better. Okay. Here is a movie that is rated PG. Okay.
Yeah.
It is so damn funny to me as a 39-year-old man, adult man. I would love for you guys to go back and watch it like this week, just to tell me if it's a me thing or if you guys feel the same way. But like, it has horrible ratings. Like, it's not recognized as like a good movie for some reason, but it is like a genuinely great movie. It was funny. It has heart. I was so surprised. I thought I was like, this is just a fucking dumb movie from when I was a kid. Like, it's not going to be that good. But what a great, great movie. Now I got to be on a mission to go back and watch like movies from my childhood, just as an adult, just to see how they land. We got one next week we're watching, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I found it genuinely hilarious. And like, there's a lot of adult humor in it. It's not just a movie for kids. It's very fun. Do you remember it at all, either of you?
I remember bits and pieces, like where he got the fucking weird teeth and
oh yeah, he puts Mr. Wilson's dentures in his mouth.
Yeah,
and then he knocks.
No, when he changed his teeth, and they were like
the chiclets.
The chiclets.
Dude,
I just remember, and like he had that plant, that special plant or something.
Yes, yeah, that like fucking blossoms for like 8 seconds at a full moon after 4 years.
And he ruins it. Yeah. That shit's funny. That's pretty much all I remember from it.
Oh man, you should go back and watch it this week. I'd be curious. Like I was fucking hysterical, and I was just, and then like I said, by the end of it, it has like a lot of heart to it. It's like a nice heartwarming movie. And like, I'm just surprised. Like, I know Dusty talks about all the time about like when the ratings kind of changed and stuff like that. But I mean, it is not a PG movie by today's standards. Like PG, you think it's just straight up kids movie. This is not a kids movie. And honestly, for children, I think a lot of the reasons why it has low ratings, I was reading through some of them, is because Christopher Lloyd's character, the vagrant who comes to town and like starts robbing people and kidnaps him, is like scary for kids.
That's scary as fuck. Yeah.
Like, you know, especially when that kid is like, remember when the kid's like eating the apple and he leans over the fence? He's like, "What you eating there?" He's like, "An apple." And he like stabs it with his knife and takes it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a kid's fucking thing.
Nah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I watched Dennis the Menace and man, is it good. And then,
classic. Yeah.
So then okay, so here's the other funny thing. Never realized this as a child because you don't appreciate these things as a child. It was written by John Hughes, number one, who is, as you know, the GOAT of the 80s, right?
Yep.
And guess who directed it?
No clue.
Nick Castle. Michael Myers himself, baby. The Shape.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know, we talked about that Nick Castle did some directing in his day. He directed this, and I was like, oh, no wonder why I fucking love it.
That makes sense.
That's insane.
Yeah. So that was cool.
Matthau's a legend. I remember watching the cartoon as a kid. So
Dennis the Menace, right? Was it it was originally a comic strip, right?
Yeah.
Was it no, it was a show. Wasn't it a show? Like a
No, it was like a comic strip, but it was also a cartoon in the early 80s.
Gotcha. Because I think Dennis the Menace goes back to like the 50s.
Yeah.
Oh, right. It's a comic strip. Okay. 1951.
51.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like what was the big dog, Marmaduke and Dennis the Menace, and I remember reading comic book strips in the paper because all really you could get of cartoons was Saturday morning. You weren't getting cartoons like you guys got it now. It was a lot different back then,
right? And then there's a live action TV series from 1959 to 1963. Okay.
Oh wait, there was a live action series.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So I thought there was a live action series in the late 50s, early 60s.
Oh, there was also a cartoon in the 80s. It was like ran for a season or two.
Yeah, that was this.
Yeah,
this guy here. That I remember actually. That was like on TV when I was a kid too. Like not on like live, but there were like replays of it and stuff.
Yeah. You guys remember Problem Child?
Oh yeah, that's a great movie.
In similar fashion. Yeah, that's a good one.
This is the cast from the 1959. You guys have anything else to report on this week, or should we move on to some news?
No, we can jump into the news.
All right, let's get into it, folks. Dusty used to be a newsman. He used to do video game journalism, and now he does entertainment news gathering for us on the podcast and for you listening and watching. He gets all the entertainment news. What do you got for us this week, Dusty?
Well, we got this link that I posted in the Discord this week about the 25 best films of the 21st century from the Hollywood Reporter, and it was just an abysmal list. I don't know if you took stock in what was on there that you hated or what was missing that you were most upset about. But
this was one of the most horseshit, ridiculous ass lists I've ever seen in my life. Lists generally
I had
are
a
bad.
feeling you would hate this. I haven't seen it, but
the other list you
don't really
posted,
jive with lists.
No, because lists are all dumb.
What do we have on?
Yeah.
Can we just skip to like the top 10 of this list?
Let's scroll through here. Let's just see. Bones and All. Okay. Talk to Me. Quiet Place.
Talk to Me's good.
It was okay. All this Gen Z shit. Drag Me to Hell's a good movie. It Follows is great, obviously. Marvin watched. I haven't seen Presence yet.
It Follows is so low. Wow.
Yep.
That's a crime.
I wanted to watch
I haven't
this.
seen Presence either.
This is the one that's, I think, through the perspective of the entity, I'm pretty sure.
It is.
Yeah.
I have not seen The Invisible Man. I did see the other one with, was it Kevin Bacon and the lady from...
That's the old one.
Karate Kid.
That's an old one. This one is really good.
Yeah, I heard this one.
It's really good, yeah.
This one's really good, yeah. So let's see what else. Sinners is not even in the top 10. That's kind of crazy. Wait, what is this list? 25 best movies of the 21st century so far. Okay. Saint
These
Maud.
are all recent movies.
shout
There
out
we go.
Saint
We got
Maud.
a 2001.
Ooh, the others.
Yeah.
Nosferatu, Shirley, Us.
Ooh.
Us I would not put in the top fucking 20. This is that like Us is like not that
The 21st century?
Us is not that
I
great.
probably would. It could definitely go above some of this other stuff.
I think The Witch could be in the top 5, honestly. Hereditary should be in the top 5. Conjuring is great.
Conjuring's fire.
I
saw the trailer for Conjuring at Weapons.
Yeah, it was not good. No. Fuck that.
That was a good
trailer.
trailer.
There's like 50 of those now. It's like it's over for that.
Yeah, well, it's still good.
I don't know.
So, I mean, if a movie spawned a huge successful franchise, you wouldn't put it in there?
Again,
what's up with that?
But this is why lists are dumb, because they almost never.
That's fair.
They never rationalize properly why it makes their number. I would not rank movies based on their profit. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course not.
So, so here, back to the list. We're in the top 10 now. Pan's Labyrinth, number 8. I don't even consider Pan's Labyrinth a fucking horror movie. I don't even know why this is on here.
Train to Busan's worth it, though. That's a top 10er, I think.
Totally. Yeah, one of the best zombie movies ever. 28 Days Later, for sure.
Yeah.
But we're talking the 21st century. Babadook is a good, great movie. I think it's a little bit overrated, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let the Right One In. This is a great movie. Get Out, I think another overrated movie. I think Get Out is great.
Get Out is great, but it's not better than It Follows.
I think Get Out is, and pardon me, I think it's a little bit overhyped because of the social commentary about like racism.
Because it's black.
Stuff. Yeah. fucking woke Hollywood. No, I think it's
Disney.
I think it's a little overhyped because of the social commentary. It's like one of the first movies we got that had like, not really one of the first movies we got, but it came out at a time where like that heavy-handed commentary was necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whatever. I think it's a little bit overhyped. Not a bad movie though. Under the Skin, number 1. Like it's a good movie, but number
Never
1.
even saying it.
Best horror movie of the 21st century. We're talking the 21st century. That goes back to the year 2000. People like.
Are we talking horror only,
crazy.
or do comedy horrors count? Because Shaun of the Dead is not on this list.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this list would even be.
The Ring is not on this list. American Psycho is not on this list. Final Destination is not on this list.
This lady's not on this fucking list. Holy shit.
Saw is not on the list.
Not to be mean.
Dawn of the Dead.
That's egregious.
Yeah.
Not to be mean.
I don't know.
She ain't on the list. She's horrifying. What the fuck are we looking at?
She looks like Gladys, a younger Gladys.
I was just thinking, dude, that's a crazy smile, bro. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. This list is ass. I don't subscribe to this list. I do not agree, my friend.
They're all just meant to like nothing. You can't trust anything anymore.
No. Yeah, well, they want people to comment on it to tell.
That's exactly what it is.
So you get more clicks. Exactly.
They want the angry monkey typing about how fucking terrible it is, and then that gets commentary and links and likes and shares.
Like they're telling me in the last 25 years, is it, of horror movies, that Under the Skin is the best one. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, stop.
No Cabin Fever. I love Cabin Fever.
It's a good one.
Cabin in the Woods. Like, there's so many good horror movies. The House of the Devil. Like this movie this list just like clearly was focused on like elevated horror, right? Like, yeah, bad list.
Yeah.
Bad list.
Fair.
Bad publication. But I appreciate you sharing it with me. It's always interesting. I love dunking on things. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did you think of the list?
I thought it was pretty bad. I mean, there's some good movies on there, but some of the stuff they left off and some of the rankings are ridiculous. So
yeah,
that's what it's about. It's about clickbait and engagement. And we're engaging with it, so it worked.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
We got had. Scammed.
Thanks, Dusty. You scammed us.
Thanks, Dusty. Don't Breathe wasn't on there. That shit was actually good to me.
That's what I'm saying.
Like when these major publications do it, I'll take a look at it. But if it's like, Cheryl's blog from, 1932, then I'm like, whatever. But this is a Hollywood Reporter. They're one of the bigger news sources out there.
In my opinion, there's been a lot of movies. I Saw the Devil. There's just so many good horror movies of the 21st century. In my honest
Midsummer is a better movie than some of the ones that are on there for sure.
I was just going to say, if I had to just real quick rapid fire like a top 3, It Follows, Midsummer, and Hereditary. And The Witch is in there somewhere. Like those, I don't know if you could beat those really. But there's so many good ones,
Right.
and it also depends on what you consider. The Wailing is one of the best horror movies I've ever seen ever. Like, that's a Korean movie. Of course, that's not on the list because this is clearly an American focus, except for Train to Busan. So I don't know. It's just there's just so many ways to classify a horror movie. Saint Maud, I don't even think is a horror movie. It's definitely horror.
It was on the list.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but I'm saying it's like definitely horror adjacent, but it's not a horror movie. I don't know. So that's my opinion. I'm just one man, Marvin. I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else. But what else you got this week, Dusty?
All right. Well, this movie was announced last year, and it kind of flew under the radar, I guess, because I hadn't heard of it until I saw this headline. But Netflix's Fast and Loose. It was announced with Will Smith and Michael Bay attached as a major setback. The synopsis of this is, it follows a man who wakes up in Tijuana with no memories. As he pieces together his past, he learns he's been living two lives. One is a crime kingpin, and the other is an undercover CIA agent.
Fast and Loose, huh?
The setback is due to unsalvageable creative differences. Michael Bay has walked away from directing this film. It is described as an action comedy, and this is where the creative differences arose. Do you guys want to take a gander as to what the differences are?
Black.
Yeah. Will Smith wanted to slap Chris Rock in front of a exploding car, and Michael Bay was like, I don't think we can make that one work.
That's pretty close. Michael Bay wanted to lean more towards on the action side, and Will wanted to lean more to the comedy side of this action comedy. These two worked together on Bad Boys 1995, and it kind of catapulted both of their careers. Now, Will was obviously a major star because of The Fresh Prince, but Michael Bay had not really done a whole lot besides producing and directing music videos. This was like his first big Hollywood hit, Bad Boys. So them working together and trying to do another action comedy and not being able to agree on how much action or how much comedy should go into this is kind of sad. But they're looking for a film. They're looking to shoot in October, so they're going to try and replace him pretty quick. Who will they find to replace? Is it going to be somebody that agrees with Will, or is going to butt heads with him just like Michael did? It's hard to say, but just kind of sad that, I don't know, probably would have been a great movie anyways. But
Marvin, did you end up listening to his Hot Five freestyle yet or no?
No, what was the line?
I don't even remember. Oh, he's an action star.
He's an action star. No, I haven't. I still haven't heard it.
He's singing about being an action star, but he clearly wants to be more of a comedy star. So what's going on with this guy? Pick a lane, brother.
Get it together, Will.
I mean, he's hit all the genres. I would imagine.
He has, yeah, for sure. All right, what else we got?
Well, The Complete Unknown, one of Dan's favorite movies is the last year or so. Actor and director have paired up again. The now Skydance-owned Paramount won the bid for this project. The movie is called High Side, and it's described as a heat meets hell or high water, which when you put, those are two top movies for me. So you put those together, you're pumping this movie up quite a bit.
That sounds crazy, but here's my thing. I think Timothée Chalamet is a wonderful actor.
Yep.
But he looks like a child. Okay. So I could not see Timothée Chalamet, much like I can't see Tom Holland as Bond or in a Bond movie. Yeah. I cannot see Timothée Chalamet in a movie such as Heat or Hell or High Water. Those are very adult, grizzled man roles. He does
very
not.
Well cast. Both movies.
I don't know if he's the grizzled man.
Okay, well,
he needs to start smoking Newports and then
or Marlboro Reds.
Maybe chugging a fifth a day.
Newports.
He'll be good.
They don't sell Newports in California.
All flavored tobacco.
Oh, menthol,
yeah. Can't get it out here, man.
Can't do it.
When did that happen?
No, I don't know. It's babysitter state. They don't want you to do anything. It's been a while.
It's an attack.
Go over to Nevada and get some and break the law crossing the border with it if you want, I guess.
That's interesting.
But this movie, based on an original unpublished story by Jamie Oliveira, who is also adapting the screenplay. And the synopsis for this is the story of a former MotoGP racer, which I could see Chalamet doing, but haunted by a career-ending crash and a family legacy of abandonment, he is drawn back into the world of high-speed risk in extreme danger when his estranged brother, already being pursued by the FBI, recruits him for a series of bank robberies on super bikes.
Hollywood's obsessed with racing movies lately. The fuck?
Fast and Furious, except it's motorcycles instead of cars because it's all about family.
Oh, that means what's his name's going to be in it?
Vin Diesel.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Okay. We got no info on a possible release date as Mangold is busily developing Swamp Thing for DC as well as a Star Wars movie for Lucasfilm. But we got this to look forward to coming out sometime in the next couple of years, I guess.
Oh man, Swamp Thing. Oh man, please, please, Lord, let that be good.
Let's see.
The show was so good. I was so upset when that got canceled.
Speaking of the movie theater, we talked about a little bit last June. AMC forged a deal with National Cinemedia Inc. to run 25 to 30 minutes of ads before the start of films.
Crazy.
Have you guys been showing up on time or you been showing up 4 minutes before?
I always show up time because I think the trailers are part of like the theater going experience.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not much anymore because you could see the trailers online nowadays, but like that's where you saw trailers for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, I remember going to the movie theater and you sat there in a dark room with the screen off. And when they turned it on, you were just getting trailers and then straight into the movie. Now, when you go, they're playing all their local ads, rent from us, have your next business deal here. It's just playing the whole damn time.
I saw the same Google Pixel phone commercial like 5 times at my theater. So that was cool.
For weapons, we got a fucking ad for a local diner that was purchased by like a retired NYPD officer, and the whole thing is like MAGA themed. There's like thin blue line flags in the window.
Oh my God, dude. Jesus.
Like, come on down to fucking whatever diner and fucking it's fucking crazy. Yeah, but you get like what's her name? Who's the actress? Can't think of her name. She does all the AMC commercials. What's her name?
I don't know.
All right, whatever. Anyway, but I timed it actually. And I think it was like we were there for at least 40. Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh.
We were there for like at least 40 minutes before the movie started because it had like a 7:10 start time.
Yeah,
but like it didn't actually start until like 7:50.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, it is crazy. Yeah.
That's insane.
I basically
you went to an AMC?
Or
was it just
no? Let's see.
Okay, so Regal and Cinemark were already involved in such practices, but I don't think they were doing it as long, and I think they were kind of doing it before the start time, so it wasn't adding up as much. But AMC announcing it on their website was basically like their board was basically like, you're basically telling people don't show up to watch our advertisements by posting this on your fucking website.
Yeah, no, the theater I usually go to is Regal.
Okay, yeah, Regal.
But
Regal and Cinemark is usually where I go to. There's not many AMCs around here.
But it's the same. It's the same thing, right? Like they do all the same shit. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
well, Myriad Studios ran a study in SoCal theaters and found that 80% of attendees were showing up 4 minutes before the movie started, counting in the 30 minutes of additional advertising time. And I can see like where some people would want to show up early to a movie theater when assigned seating wasn't really a thing, but you can basically, when you buy tickets, you just pick your seat. And so you don't have to worry about showing up early to get a good view. I guess there's still some theaters that do, but I don't know if any that really do.
Some people show up just like egregiously late. And I'm always like, what are you doing? You paid for this. Now you're just going to miss like
you missed 20 minutes, bro.
Yeah,
go
it's
home.
Crazy.
I don't even want. Just don't even come in here. It actually pisses me off.
I don't mind showing up early. Yeah, exactly. Because they got to
crazy.
They got to like shuffle past. Excuse me.
What are you fucking doing?
Well, you never know how long the concession line is going to be if you want to spend $50 on a popcorn and a soda.
And I always get a motherfucker who just gets up like 65 times in my row. It's like you're not even watching the fucking movie.
Yeah.
No idea what's going on.
Excuse me. It's like fucking sit down.
Something you got to do when you got kids and they got to go to the bathroom. Like, let's go before. Nope. They want to do it right in the middle. So,
so I don't know. For weapons, I finished like basically half my popcorn by the time the movie started.
Well, good news. Sources are telling Deadline that AMC is working to shorten its pre-show. AMC declined to comment. I think Regal and Cinemark are probably doing similar things because people are sick of it. They don't want to pay money to get advertising. But this is keeping the theaters alive, I guess. Tom Cruise wasn't enough. They had to sell more advertising space.
I mean, listen, I get they got to make money, but like also your tickets are $22 a pop now, so
yeah, maybe I go to the matinee.
Maybe simmer down a little bit, you know. Choose one like monetization path. If you're gonna show me 40 minutes of ads before a movie, maybe reduce the price of tickets just a little bit, you know?
Right.
But that's just me. What do I know?
All right.
What else you got?
Well, we got a little Harry Potter news. We had a WB earnings call with CEO David Zaslav recently, and he confirmed that the new Harry Potter series, which spans 7 books, will run for 10 years.
Jesus Christ.
On HBO Max. Yeah.
So that's why
10 years.
That's why that kid with the big head looks like he's fucking 2 years old.
Yeah.
They fucking casted this dude out of the womb.
Get your ass
I mean, the movies spanned longer than that because of the time between some of the production for the later movies. I mean, they filmed a few of them out the gate, but then like, I remember when you jump from like Hermione being a kid to an adult, and everybody's like, holy shit.
Well, this is becoming a problem with these long IPs and stuff that like they got to cast people who are younger. Like, say, you know, it happened with Superman. Like James Gunn was like, well, we want a younger Superman. It's like, okay, but you casted somebody who's like 35 or however old it is. He's like, by the time the next movie comes out, like he's still going to be into his 40s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we're on like
not to rile up the fucking Henry Cavill.
We're rebooting stuff after a decade now, so it like the turnover rate is getting faster and faster.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hell of a commitment there.
Yeah, just reboot Harry Potter after this 10-year run right away. Well, fuck it.
Right?
Do another one.
We also got some confirmation. Brazilian cinematographer Adriano Goldman, who's best known for The Crown, Andor, and Jane Eyre, is the lead director of photography for season 1 and confirmed that season 1 consists of 8 episodes, debunking the 6-episode season rumors.
What is this? Harry Potter.
Yeah. So yeah, they went through 18 weeks of pre-production building out the visual world of Hogwarts, and season 1 is currently filming, with production expected to last about 10 months, possibly covering parts of season 1 and 2, which is kind of what I thought they would do. They would just bang out as many episodes as they could.
Why are they even rebooting this? Doesn't even make sense.
Money.
Yeah, I know, but like
it's one of their biggest properties. Yeah, they're just printing money.
But like, why can't you just what are they gonna do differently? Just re-release fucking
absolutely nothing.
You could probably re-release the original run of them in theaters. Do like a theatrical run, like every couple months. Like here's Harry Potter 1 for.
I mean, I could find somebody that could come on this podcast and say, "Why are we making another Superman movie, Dan? We've already had so many Superman movies. What are we doing?"
We've had 2 Superman movies. Well, 5, 6, 7 featuring Superman. But yeah,
correct.
I understand that's different. That's a little bit different because
this is one of their biggest IPs.
I understand, but it's a book. It's just it's a finite thing. It's not like a comic book.
It's not just a book. It's books and movies and comics and theme parks.
You're not letting me finish. Okay. Comic books. You compare it to Superman. Superman has an 80-year run of various comics and alternate universes and worlds and stories to pull from. There's an endless amount of source material to take inspiration from, where Harry Potter is just a book series. It's 7 books, and that's that. There's only so many ways to tell the story. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. It's like if they would like redo Game of Thrones, but instead of the show this time, it's like movies.
Yeah.
It's like 6 more movies.
If J.K. Rowling spent less fucking time talking about trans people, maybe she could write another fucking book series, or maybe she could add another book to the series, and then we can make a movie out of that. But she's too busy fucking yapping.
Rich enough and happy with the way that it ended. I don't know if she really wants to, but yeah. We don't know if they're going to be adding content to the 10-year span here, splitting the books into 2 seasons like they did some of the later movies. We're just taking extra time in between some of the seasons. It's hard to say, but yeah. Right. Harry Potter's, when it comes out in 2027, we will be talking about it until 2037, and then maybe we'll be talking about a reboot after that again, Dan. So
maybe
we'll see.
Maybe this one I'll actually like. Maybe this one will actually like resonate with me. I don't know.
It might hit. It might hit.
Maybe Might hit a
You
little
didn't like the
different.
movies?
It's not that I didn't like them. They were fine. I just didn't. They didn't have this like profound effect on me, which is probably because I didn't grow up with them. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
All
Owen
right.
loves the stories. He reads the books and watches the movies all the time.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Shout
I don't
out.
think it's anything super crazy, but that's just me. I know I'm in the minority there. It's very, very popular, obviously.
Okay. Well, we're sticking with Warner Brothers here. They have become the first studio in history to have 6 consecutive films earn $40 million openings.
Yeah.
$40 million plus openings.
Oh, wow.
This was, from Discussing Film on Twitter. Minecraft was 162 million. Sinners was 48 million. Final Destination Bloodlines was 51 million. F1 at 57 million. Superman at 125 million. And finally, Weapons at $42.5 million.
Nice.
First studio in history.
That's crazy. WB back
to
on
release
top.
6 films debuting with over 40
You know what
million.
WB means for real?
What?
We back.
There you go.
That's good.
We back, baby.
That's good. We are back. They just gotta take a step back and not get involved. That's all. That's the secret right there. let the filmmakers make films, you know?
Yeah, Weapons just barely edged it out. It got 42.5 million domestic and 27.5 million internationally, giving it a $70 million worldwide opening weekend. On an estimated $38 million budget. It's pretty good. Movie looks to be another win for the studio. And then shout out, I guess, Julia Garner has roles in 2 of the top 3 films at the box office right now. So she's in Weapons and Fantastic for First Step. So good for her.
Nice.
But I guess Barbarian debuted at a meager 10.5 million. But that was, of course, on a $4.5 million budget. But it had the legs to earn over $45 million globally. So does that make director Zach Kreger a hot commodity now?
Oh, yeah, it sure does. Sure does.
Kreger's hot shit. Yeah.
He is hot shit.
He was recently asked about his upcoming stuff. He said, I have a Resident Evil, and then I have a sci-fi movie right after that that's original. And then I have another finished script that I want to do after that. It actually takes place in the DC universe, but it's totally original, and it's not a superhero movie. Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah, allegedly it's called The Henchman.
Yeah.
Ooh,
takes apparently a character that took out Batman, incapacitated Batman in some form or fashion, and gets some infamy in the underworld, and is
apparently Joker and Harley are like background characters.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah, it could be cool.
So I don't know that he's pitched it yet, but he's got a finished script that he would have to pitch in order to get it. But they would have to cast Batman and Harley Quinn
and Joker.
That's guessing James Gunn isn't going to recast Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, but we don't know. So yeah,
they couldn't use Pat.
No, I don't think they're going to use Pat.
What the fuck?
No good.
Hard to say.
James Gunn's pretty much expressed that he wants to go in a different direction.
Oh, so this would be in James Gunn's.
This is in the DC universe.
Oh, so they couldn't use Pat. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I thought it was going to be another Elseworld.
Now, speaking of James Gunn, since we're on the subject, Zack Snyder's universe is officially dead since Superman has now topped
Rip Bozo smoking on
every worldwide or every domestic earning of every Superman movie to ever come before. So even Batman versus Superman, which was I think was $230 million, Superman beat it. It's at 231, I think, domestically. So Superman's here to stay.
Zack is whack.
But yeah.
What I had started saying before fucking had creatures on me or whatever. Is that I don't think he wants to do Elseworld projects. I think that was just his way of being nice, like stepping into a thing that was already doing like the Penguin and the Batman, and WB wanted to do all sorts of whatever the fuck. He was probably just like, yeah, those are Elseworlds, but I don't think that's going to be his choice going forward once those are done and out of the way. But yeah.
I mean, I do love Penguin and stuff, but
yeah,
I like where Gunn is headed. So
yep, I agree. All right.
Well, Zach did say that his Resident Evil movie is going to be, it's going to be traditional to the lore of the game, but it's not going to be the stories that are told in the game. He's got his own story he wants to tell. So
yeah, I saw his quote.
Interesting to see.
I saw his quote where he's like, "Why would I make a fucking Leon story? We already have Leon's story in the game."
Yeah, he's in the game. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
I like the Resident Evil stuff. I thought the first couple movies were all right, and then they had like the Fast and Furious. They just got old.
I've never seen any of them in full. I don't even think the original one.
Wow.
When that first one
what
came out.
about you, Marvin? You seen the original Resident Evil?
That one came out in
I have.
2002. Yeah, I've never seen these.
I definitely have played the games like Resident Evil 1 and 2.
There's 6 of these fucking movies? What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
The whole franchise.
Yeah, I would never watch these. Nah, never.
Alice.
Although I do think, she's wonderful.
Mia is wonderful, yeah.
Yeah. Mila.
Well, it's her husband is the one that makes all those bad horror movies, right?
Paul Anderson.
Yeah.
The bad Paul Anderson, not this is the not good Paul Anderson, yeah.
What movies has he made?
Fucking nonsense.
Oh shit, Death Race. That shit was fire.
Death Race 4, Beyond Anarchy.
Nah, I don't know anything about that. I just know the original.
Yeah.
He did the Alien versus Predator movie.
This is Paul W.S. Anderson, not to be confused with Paul Thomas Anderson, okay? Who was a master of the craft.
He did the Monster Hunter movie.
I was
He
typing in
didn't
the
he?
master. Yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson. That's my boy. He's got a movie coming out soon, I think, actually. That looked really good.
Shit.
One battle after another. Yep, this movie here with.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer.
Oh.
Yeah, Leo DeCap.
Yeah, it was a good trailer. It actually was a good trailer. 3 hours, damn.
3 hours. Marvin's out.
Oh,
Dusty's out. I'll review this one on my own, folks. Don't worry.
Yeah. Good luck.
All right, is that it for the news? What are you saying,
That's
Marvin?
it.
Sorry.
I was making a joke. I watched it in 1.25x speed or something.
Oh, you
There you
probably
go.
would. That Zoomer brain shit.
You guys don't ever watch movies in 1.25?
No. Movies? What are you kidding me? There's no way you don't do that. You don't.
I've done it before.
Nah, you don't do that. Come on.
Wait, a movie you've already seen or a movie you haven't seen?
Either way, it's egregious. What?
No. Sometimes you gotta speed it up a little bit. Sometimes when it's going too slow, you got things to do.
I mean, I'll skip a scene, a movie I've seen 10 or 15 times. I'm like,
Nah.
I want to get to the good part. I'll skip this next scene, but I've never tried it.
Are you guys insane?
Try it out.
No, I'll never
Hey,
do it.
don't knock it till you try it.
I don't even watch YouTube videos in that.
I'm going to go rewatch all the Zack Snyder DCEU in 1.5 speed.
We're literally talking about you.
Then it'll be normal. It'll be normal length when you watch Zack Snyder stuff in 1.25 because of all the slow mos.
Yeah, that's something you can fucking speed up. I don't need to see Lois Lane getting coffee in slow mo for 45 minutes.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Fucking clown.
Is that a
ass
thing?
shit. Yeah, in his cut
He
of
slowed her getting the coffee.
yeah, there's like a whole scene in Zack Snyder's Justice League where she's like literally doing her morning routine and it's like all in slow motion. It's so stupid.
Oh my god.
Anyway, that's it for the news, Dusty.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you once again for the news. Appreciate it. Let's get into today's review. And that is Weapons that just came out from Zach Kreger, who we were just talking about. Now, in recent years, modern horror has been all about that TikTok style, fast-paced cuts, Gen Z heavy themes, heavy-handed social commentary, or that A24 style of like elevated horror that we talk so much about. Weapons feels different and not quite like either of those. It feels like it might mark a return to classic horror, embracing storytelling techniques rooted in classic horror traditions. So, is this really the start of classic horror comeback or just a modern horror film wearing some old school clothes? Let's find out. Talking about fast-paced editing, Marvin's over here fucking watching movies in 2x speed and shit. So like
2x, come on.
The world is falling apart.
Just need a little bump.
I was excited for this movie. It had one of those marketing pushes of like fucking most shocking movie of the year. Da, 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 da. Not as bad as Zach Kreger's previous movie, Barbarian. But it had a little bit of it. But this movie was like genuinely intriguing with the marketing and the trailer. I think we were all like really fucking taken by it when the trailer first dropped a couple months back. But this movie is about a a classroom filled with children that one day just up and vanish. They don't really up and vanish. They're on cameras all over the neighborhood, ring cameras and shit, at 2:17 a.m., getting up out of bed and fucking Naruto running down the street in the dark, except for one kid in this particular class, which is pretty sus. And
yeah, very sus.
But what was I going to say? I lost.
Didn't this movie get a little notoriety? Also, isn't this the one where Peele, fired his entire staff because he didn't win the bid on it?
Yeah. So a lot of that wasn't really part of the marketing per se, but it was part of the buzz leading up to the movie. Is that apparently the script for this movie when studios were vying for the rights to the script, it went up to like $80 million or something like that. Jordan Peele's team like lost the bidding to it. He really wanted to do it, but they lost, and he like fired his whole team over it. So the movie definitely had some notoriety leading up to it. But what did you guys think, Dusty? Let's start with you.
I think it kind of lived up to the hype. This was a refreshing horror movie for me. I like the pacing of the early on story. You really don't know what's going on, and you're seeing it it was almost like Life of Chuck, where you're watching in different chapters, except you're watching from different perspectives. It was a little bit jarring when they went to the cops' perspective. I felt like they jumped around a little too much, where like most of them like went back, started, and then ended up to where present time or whatever, where the cops kind of went back, went forward, went back. It was a little bit confusing for me for a second or two there, but I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you get this.
But and then the final act was great. Like the witch, it was just amazing. I love this movie. It was good.
Yeah, you get this multi-perspective storytelling where it's similar to like movies like Magnolia or Pulp Fiction, where the story's unfolding through 6 character viewpoints, but there's like a singular, like layered mystery that is presenting itself, and it rewards you for being patient, really, because neither of those singular story beats, like perspectives, really tell the full tale. And I thought it was really smart as to why he did it that way, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But what did you think, Marvin?
I was pretty satisfied with this movie overall. I do think it was a bit overhyped. It wasn't as great as I was expecting with how crazy they went with the marketing and the whole Jordan Peele like firing his team whole thing. I was like, oh man, this is going to be like the craziest thing I've ever seen. But not that it was bad, but it definitely was a little bit overhyped. I thought overall the performances were pretty good from all the characters. I enjoyed the retelling of like each perspective too. I thought that was pretty well done. Yeah. How they tied it all together and showed you like how each person kind of gets to the same point in the story. That was great. And sadly, I didn't have a great experience again in the theater I went to.
Damn, you gotta move, bro.
It was just the local theater. It's just not great.
What happened?
It's just like 5 minutes away. It was really dark. So I couldn't see a lot of the dark scenes.
You're not the only person that said that. I was watching, the Double Toasted guys that I watch a lot?
Yeah.
I was watching their stream last night on Twitch. They were talking about it, and like people in chat were complaining too that the movie was too dark. But they were saying like, when that is the case, when a movie looks too dark, it's almost always the theater's fault.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, turn the fucking brightness
up. Like, it is a dark movie.
See shit.
There are a lot of dark scenes, but in many cases.
But it was beyond, like, it was crazy.
My theater, the sound was very low. Like, especially in the beginning of the movie, like the sound mix was a little bit low. Like, you couldn't really make out what the little girl was narrating through some parts of the beginning. Like, you could, but it was hard to hear it over, like, the actual music. So I don't know if it was, like, the mixing of the movie itself or just the way the theater was, like, producing the sound. I don't know. It was weird, but it didn't ruin the experience for me at all.
Yeah,
but that sucks.
Okay. But it was good. It was a great movie overall. Just maybe a tiny bit. I don't think Jordan Peele need to fire his whole team or whatever the fuck he did for this movie.
If that's even true.
I mean, I did find myself wondering, like, with all the cinematography shots and stuff that they're showing, I was like, I wonder how he would have done this. So it was a little bit distracting watching some parts of the movie. I was like, I wonder how Peele would have done this scene because some of it was done. I thought it was done pretty well, but I was distracted. So
yeah, the reason that I said this movie might be a return to classic horror is that it uses a lot of like a lot of the movies of recent memory, like Smile and Smile 2 and Bring Her Back and that other one we watched with the fucking hand, Talk to Me. Like these movies are very like Gen Z focused, and not that there's anything wrong with that. They're obviously the up and coming generation of filmmakers, so they're obviously going to make movies that speak to their own experiences. But a lot of those movies are like very like overtly based on like Gen Z just shit. Like a lot of them are like content creator focused and like
I know what you mean.
Yeah, they're filmed like social media videos. Like I had that complaint about Talk to Me, how it's like it's very energetic in terms of its like pacing for a horror movie, whereas something like this is a slow burn. It's a very slow suspense, builds up. It doesn't give a lot away, and then by the time the mystery is actually revealed, the movie is over. Now
it was suspense thriller until the final act, really.
Yeah, and then but even then it was suspenseful because the movie ends, you don't really get a real explanation. Like, yeah, obviously you get the explanation, spoilers, like, oh yeah, it was a witch and she had a spell and this, that, and the other thing. But beyond that, it's just like, that's it. It's a witch. See ya. Like, there's no, like, a lot of movies nowadays have like very heavy-handed exposition dumps where they explain the evil to you or how the thing works or like what's going on, and this just didn't do that.
Yeah, he didn't have to. I mean,
no, and it was very.
Everybody knows witches, and everybody knows.
It's pretty
like,
self-explanatory. Yeah, it's a hex.
Yeah,
voodoo type hexes and shit. Yeah,
Now, this movie actually triggered me to go back and watch Barbarian, which we watched here on the show 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
you weren't here for that episode, Marvin, and I feel like we had you go back and watch it, and you didn't like it at the time.
Yeah, I didn't like it at the time. I did rewatch it. I enjoyed it more. I do think this is better than Barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the same movie. So I rewatched it after seeing this the other night. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I watched our review of it, Dusty and I, and we both were like, yeah, it was a little overhyped because even that had like overblown marketing. But that's just like what happens nowadays, especially with horror movies, I guess.
Right.
Even like last night, late Night with the Devil did that. Long Legs did it. Like that's just how horror movies are marketed nowadays for some reason. But Dusty and I were like, yeah, no, it was a little overhyped, but it was really good because of this, and this. And a lot of what we said was the same principles that went into this movie. Like and it was structured very much the same way. The movie of Barbarians presented to you in different like perspectives. You get her perspective, you get what's his name, Pennywise's perspective, you get Justin Long's perspective, and then they converge into like the actual singular story, which just like this is some just weird fucking thing that's happening. It's not, it's just nothing. It's just this guy who was inbreeding fucking women, and she's down in the basement being fucking crazy and weird. Like it's the same structure, and I really like it because it goes back to that classic horror structure of like, here's this thing that's just happening.
Yep.
Enjoy it and go home. Like all old horror movies do that. Halloween. Here's this fucking group of girls. They're getting stalked by this guy in a mask. Oh, he gets shot and he's gone. Bye. See you, everybody. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Same thing. So, I do think, to answer your question earlier, is Zach Kreger the new like up and coming master of horror? I think he can be.
Yeah.
I think he's
got it. Yeah.
I think he's got a really good eye for horror storytelling. He's got a comedy background. He comes from a sketch comedy background. He had the show The Whitest Kids You Know.
He told me about that.
Yeah.
Because we saw this together and I didn't know.
Yeah. And obviously this Weapons there's a lot of really funny moments that aren't like overtly funny. I don't think he wrote them to play as comedy, except for maybe the ending when the kids are chasing her through the yard and you get those like funny shots of her running past and then the kids running past.
That
like
was funny as hell.
Or when Josh Brolin wakes up and he's like, he says what everybody in the audience said, like, what the fuck? Like when he had the nightmare. or whatever. So yeah, I don't think they're like overtly played for comedy, but I think they're like, he knows that they're going to get like probably a comedic response. And I think that's smart because comedy has a lot of parallels with horror. They always have.
As we've seen. Yeah.
So yeah, this didn't feel like that like Gen Z style horror movie or like the A24 elevated horror movies. Cause I mean, if anything, it leaned more probably towards that A24 style. And I'm talking movies like Hereditary and Midsummer and Saint Maud, like a lot of the movies that were on that list we talked about earlier. Yeah. Where they're more viscerally scary. There's nothing in the movie that's like overtly going to scare you. That's like jump scares or whatever, maybe a little here and there, but like, it's mostly just like human nature that's scary, that those movies sort of extract horror from. And this kind of did the same thing.
Yeah. This makes you feel for the kid and other people throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part about it. Like, oh, damn, imagine if you were in this situation or whatever, right? Not like, oh, here's a fucking scary moment to make you jump out of the seat.
I saw a lot of people complaining about the movie having a lot of plot holes, which I didn't mind because I kind of felt like those inconsistencies were there on purpose to sort of reflect the sort of subjective experiences of what all these people are going through. And I just before we started recording, I actually read something where he actually confirms that. He's like, some of the plot holes like I did on purpose, some of them I didn't mean to, but when I went back to edit, like I didn't really care because it's told from multiple perspectives, and it's obviously there's gonna be inconsistencies in everybody's like
that makes sense
recounting of the story as it played out. And I thought
the
that
biggest
was really
thing.
Smart.
The biggest thing for me was the burning like rifle in the sky or whatever.
Yeah,
I know that was just like a red herring. So, but it was also his dream. So,
I don't think whose dream? Josh Brolin's.
Yeah,
I don't think it was a red herring. But it was also the only thing in the movie that I was like really confused by in terms of just imagery. Like I know the movie's called Weapons, and they say in the movie like she weaponized these people or whatever.
Yeah.
Which she did.
Right.
Like she turned them into like weapons more or less. The kids weren't. The kids, she was just like harvesting their energy or whatever to make herself like younger or less cancery or whatever the fuck was wrong with her.
So you don't think it was a red herring? I thought it was like a clear red herring.
No, I'm going to tell you why. So another trope you see a lot in these modern horror movies in recent years is I mentioned like overt, like really preachy messaging. And I don't, not preachy like, oh, it's fucking woke, but like there's always like a message to be had that's like the movie's like very clear about. Now I think this movie had a message, or at least my takeaway of it, but it's not like in your face. They don't beat you over the head with it. It's just kind of there. And that's how a lot of old horror movies were. Night of the Living Dead was a commentary on the tumultuous times of like the 50s and 60s. Dawn of the Dead was a commentary on consumerism and like societal decay. Fucking,
sure, yeah.
Horror movies, they always do it. And I think this again is that like sort of return to that classic style of horror where like there is a message, a commentary there to be had if you're looking for it, but it's not going to beat you over the head with it. This movie, I thought, was pretty clearly an allegory for school shootings and just generally how children are no longer safe in places that they should be, whether that be the school or the home or what have you. And maybe more broadly, how younger generations are being victimized by older generations who refuse to like modernize and update with the times, people who control policy and stuff like that, and then how incidences like this can like take hold of a town. That was kind of like my takeaway. So that's why when the gun was in the sky, I was like, well, what more could that mean other than like just it's an AR, like that's what it is. Did either of you get that at all, or is that just me like being weird?
Yeah, the gun in the sky made it feel a little forced though.
A little bit.
The only thing I took away from this was don't let people stay in your home, even if they say they're family, and you don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I just saw on Twitter, there's like this thing going on where this kid got killed by like his cousins that he didn't really know. he traveled with his mom to Florida or something to like, and like while he was there, he met up with like cousins of his that are his family, but he's never really met them before. And then he just like went missing. So they clearly like killed him.
Damn.
You're always most vulnerable from within.
Yeah.
Whether that's friends and family or corporate work or whatever.
But yeah, I don't know. I can't see how you could take anything else away from this other than the school shooting thing. Like it seems very obvious.
That's why I think it was like a red herring. I don't know if it was supposed to be like a message about school shooting or not.
Well, like I said, it's just a commentary on a thing that's like pervasive right now. Just like all the older horror movies. It's not necessarily like I said, it's not going to hit you over the head with it. What were you going to say, Dusty?
Yeah.
Nothing. I could see how you would make that connection. I mean, I didn't really see it, but now that I think about it, I guess there could be some relevance to that analogy, but it's not like smack you in the face.
Yeah, no.
Type. It's very subtle. So if that's what it is, then yeah, I guess. But yeah,
it's there if you want to see it. But like, of
the mindset that I was more likely to get shot when I was in school than kids are these days. But
you think so?
It's just because gun violence was way more pervasive in the 90s than it is now.
Yeah.
School shootings aside, which are definitely more kids are likely to die in a single shooting today. But I was more likely to get shot by gun violence than kids are today.
The other reason why I took it that way too is because the town is really like the centerpiece of the movie. And that's why they told it through multiple perspectives. Like Josh Brolin's not the main character. She's not the main character. The town really is. And like it's these are just individuals within the town that we're seeing this story told through their eyes. But like clearly this incident has affected the entire town. Like it's not something you would normally really recover from if something traumatic like this happened. Like especially like if you take it in the case of a school shooting, like Sandy Hook is never going to be the same ever again. You know what I mean? It's just it's something that's going to just linger over the town forever. And so that's kind of how this felt to me, which is also again why I liked that multiple perspective take. Yeah, I like that it really focused on those individuals because it shows how each person is sort of like uniquely affected. She's
go
ahead.
I think what I would have got from it is just how like any type of event that affects like a mass amount of kids or people or whatever definitely is going to affect the place where it happens. And
totally, yeah.
Like, I guess it reminded me of, what was that other show? It was I think it was the True Detective Night Country or whatever, where like the people were going missing, like any type of event where like people are going missing and there's no explanation for it. It's like going to affect the town. And I guess that's kind of like the vibe I got from this.
Yeah.
This felt like the small town, and there were some things like the Josh Brolin's character not knowing Julia Garner's character when his kid is in the class felt a little bit like in small towns, you don't just know like your kid's teacher, you know all the teachers in the school, you know the teacher that your kid's going to have next year because it's a small town. So they kind of played it like it was more like a big city type where I don't know this lady. I want to know what she was doing. How could none of us have known this? Like, some of the scenes felt a little more like whoever was writing it wasn't writing it from a small town perspective because somebody who grew up in a small town. It's a little bit different, but yeah.
And then finally, I really liked how the movie, the horror of the movie stems from the like the character driven tension more than like jump scares or gore or whatever. So it does make it feel more like Hereditary or The Witch or something like that than other movies in recent memory, like Talk to Me. But that said, there is a very an ending that everybody's saying is so insane and shocking, and this, that, and everything. It's what everybody's talking about is the ending, which I didn't really find that quite insane. So, am I a sociopath? Do I have to like be on medication? Because I was like,
no,
very. I was like, this is not that big of a deal. Like, I've seen way worse than this. I don't know why people were freaking out.
It was extremely mild to me.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the kids were conscious of what they were doing. They were just weapons at that point. So
there's like a flash.
I thought it was pretty mild.
She's getting like torn apart, but like, I've seen worse.
Somebody who doesn't like the shock and awe of unnecessary, grotesque violence in horror movies, I thought it was fine. It was apropos to the mood and the feel of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the person that got it worse was for sure Marcus, because she made him kill his husband. Yeah. And then he just died like a little bit later. Like he got it the worst.
Poor mom.
That whole scene was funny and weird.
Yeah.
Like who eats like 10 fucking hot dogs
that
for
was
dinner?
So strange.
What are we doing?
It was funny. Yeah. I don't know. That's the thing.
And then, right, his boyfriend was like, yeah, come on in, have some water. And she's like, I want a bowl of water. It's just like
a little quirk I have. She was great. So let's talk about her a little bit. I think it was funny. The ultimate comedy was that Josh Brolin's character wrote witch on Julia Garner's car in red paint. Yeah. And he was right that there was a witch involved. It was witchcraft, but it was just a different person. That was Amy Madigan who played the witch Gladys, Aunt Gladys. You might remember her, Dusty, from 80s movies like Uncle Buck and shit like that. Mm-hmm. She was the redhead. Yeah, she was Gladys, and she did a great job. Good. And I really liked how, like I said, they didn't really explain anything. It's like they give you enough to just be like, oh, she has this like weird fucking bush plant thing that obviously has some sort of power to it.
Yeah.
And if you mix your fucking blood, okay, well, that's giving you the control, right? You're the controller with somebody else's personal belonging or hair or whatever.
Hair is what it seemed to be, because it was. Well, no, she ripped his hair out.
Hair and then a personal item.
Yeah, and a personal. Oh, yeah, because yes.
Well, she didn't have any of the kids.
The hair was always of the target, because she went out to the car and cut Julia Garner's hair and got her hair, and then she sent. So the hair was whoever the target was, and the item was to control the weapon.
Yeah, and so go ahead, Marvin.
So that why did she cut Julia Garner's hair?
Because she was going to kill her. She was the target.
She didn't want to do it in front of her house. It would have brought the cops because in front of her house, so she was going to do it later.
She sent the principal after her.
Yeah. So the hair is not the target. The hair is who you want to control.
No, the hair is who you want to kill.
No.
Because she cut the hair of Wong's boyfriend in the kitchen. Remember, she walks up and he's like, oh, she cut my hair. And he's the one who gets...
Okay, so maybe it could be both, because when she got the kids, she got their personal item, not their hair.
But the kids weren't targets. She just wanted the kids for harvesting their life force.
So we see the hair used 3 times. It's Wong's boyfriend, it's Julia Garner's character, and it's her own hair that he uses to send all the kids after her.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Also, not being racist by calling him Wong. His name is literally Benedict Wong, and also his character from Marvel was Wong.
That's right.
The sorcerer. So we're not being racist, folks. Calm down.
I don't really remember. This is one of those movies where like you don't really remember the characters' names, because there's not a lot of dialogue where like, hey, Archer, or hey, Jacob. Like I remember, like I'm calling Josh Brolin, Julia Garner. That's their names.
I didn't remember Archer, but I definitely remember Marcus.
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a cool villain. It was a cool little story. It actually felt like a fairy tale almost, not because it's a witch, just because it's like, again, it's like this isolated little thing that happens. And that's what I love about classic horror movies is like, I don't know how to really explain it. Like, obviously everything is just this thing that's happening, but this felt like almost like an episode of a TV show that was like almost like Twilight Zone, where each episode is a different story. This felt like that. It was just like, here's this little one-off story type of thing.
Yeah, like you said, it's like a fable or whatever, like Hansel and Gretel, the evil version or whatever, like it's something like that. Like, I like how they gave little breadcrumbs about how old she was.
Did they?
Because she made is one specific line where she, the Marcus asks her what's wrong with Alex's dad. Why couldn't he come in or whatever? And she's like, yeah, they have just a touch of consumption. Mm. And if you look up consumption, it's like what they used to call tuberculosis. It's
yeah.
she's old as fuck. Like
Yeah,
she's just
probably.
a straight up old ass witch. Yeah.
The only social commentary I really took out of this that I perceived was like the police brutality of the cop's character, like the way he treated that tweaker, like unplugging his camera and like going after him, trying to get vengeance and shit.
I ain't even gonna lie though. If I got pricked by a fucking needle, I'd punch the shit out of that fucking dude too.
Yeah, I understand
Dude,
that, but then
fucked.
like him being so mad the next time that he's like, I'm unplugging my camera beforehand and I'm chasing this guy down and I'm probably gonna fucking kill him. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
seemed a bit-
Oh yeah, dude. He has super AIDS. But the fucked up part is because you know he got his finger and then he got stabbed in the face with multiple
Face,
needles.
Yeah. And he
But
said in the car, "Do you have
the
AIDS?"
fucked up, yeah. The fucked up part is that he had sex with Justine
Mm-hmm.
right after that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right after that.
Right. So yeah, he's a fucked up dude. Like that's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
that's another thing too. Is like the people in the town are like flawed people. So this it's not like
Oh, yeah.
it's like a very I don't know. I just found it like a very down to earth sort of story in this like fantastical sort of horror setting. What I like,
Yeah, it reminded me of It, to be honest.
I was just gonna say that. So
Yeah.
I was gonna just say it was almost like she had this sort of like power over the not power over the town the way Pennywise does, but it's like her presence there sort of like had an
It's
impact.
the charisma and like
Yeah. And she's appearing in dreams and stuff. And I saw some people complaining, being like, why is she appearing in dreams? Like, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But again, you're seeing it through the perspective of people who are, like, everybody's going to tell the story. It's not going to be a reliable story. Obviously, once Josh Brolin interacted with her, like the way I took away, what I took from this movie is it's clearly being narrated to us, right? By a little girl who was in this town somewhere, right? She experienced it, whatever.
right.
She obviously heard these multiple perspectives. So like if Josh Brolin 6 months after the fact is like, yeah, and fucking like I had a dream about her one night, like he might not have. That might just be the way he remembers it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot
I
of like
remember-
weird
yeah.
inconsistencies in the story.
Because it's a story being told. So
It's a story
like,
being told to us, right?
Yeah.
But again,
She
none of
could have
that
been
stuff-
one of his classmates from the class that he
Could have
switched
been.
over to, for all we know. We don't know.
Could have been,
Yeah.
and none of the stuff really matters at the end of the day.
Nope.
The creepiest moment though was very much a Pennywise move from Gladys, where she's in the woods with the crackhead, just sort of like waving at him. That shit freaked me out. I was like,
That shit was
I was
funny.
like, is this gonna be some Pennywise shit? That's fucked up.
It was funny too when James, the tweaker guy, he attacked Archer and he was getting beat up. And he just kept waking back up.
Yeah.
But no, he just kept getting knocked out and waking back up, knocked out again.
Yeah.
That shit
Yeah.
was funny.
And in the
I want
end,
to go back to like what we kind of got from the movie as far as like social commentary. I think another thing too was Alex is the sole survivor of the class. He was bullied by a lot of these kids.
Yep.
So at one
Yeah.
point I was like, oh shit, this is like, he was getting bullied. So he had his grandma witch sacrifice all these kids in the class.
my one complaint of the movie is that it didn't really do the best job of like hiding the fact that Alex was clearly involved in this somehow. Like the moment you realize that he's the only person who didn't go missing, you're like, oh, okay, well,
He's got something to do with it.
yeah, he's got something to do with it. But otherwise, I thought this movie was great. I thought it was brilliant. It made me go back and go ahead.
I was just gonna say one thing. I think as far as you was talking about, like he's obviously the one. I feel like they could have made Justine seem more guilty, just if they wanted to kind of lead us astray a little bit more. They could have gave her more like questionable. I didn't doubt her for a second, is what I'm trying to say. Like, in
I
this
agree.
movie.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think at the end of the day, I don't think it was really about that, right? I don't think they were trying to like
That's fair.
mislead you or do misdirection or any of that sort
Yeah.
of stuff, because they're just telling multiple perspectives of this singular thing that happened, this incident. It's not really about like
If they're building up the mystery
That's
and
fair.
like the kid and the teacher were the only two that were left. And if you already think the kid has something to do with it, you should also at least think that the teacher might also have something to do with it. But
no. See, I don't think it
believing
would
that
been
one
cool.
did for sure and one didn't for sure is a little, I guess, I don't know.
I don't think the mystery lied in that being the answer.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't about like which one of them is responsible. The mystery was more broad. really. Because like,
I agree for sure. I'm just saying the way that they told the story, it would have been like no reason for them to not give her more sus behavior or whatever. Because, they told her story first, essentially. So we get Justain's story.
I thought she was a little suspicious. I
didn't.
Like, I think the jury was out for me up until the chapter where we're seeing it through Josh Brolin's eyes and she's getting chased by Wong. Like up until that
even
point,
before that, like him trying to.
She was just being not a good. Like she was a weird person. Like she's being inappropriate with kids. Like obviously it's coming from a place of care and stuff, but she's overstepping as a teacher. She's obviously gotten fired from a previous teaching job for doing it before. She basically coerced her ex into breaking his sobriety and cheating on his wife. Like she's not a good person. So like,
but all that felt menial to me when he was trying to that felt like forced, easily dismissed. Like, oh, they're trying to build her up as some sort of culprit.
No, but
because he's saying she has all this history, and obviously that's just. But
that's what I'm saying. They weren't
easy to set aside.
They weren't showing us that to misdirect you and be like, "Hey, she might be guilty." It's just that this is who she is as a person, and we're just telling you these stories. That's it. Like it wasn't about misdirection or like any of that stuff. I mean, that's at least how I took it. But yeah, like I don't really see there wasn't a need to be misled. Do you know what I mean? Because it was a very singular story. It was like
I don't think there was a need per se. I just thought knowing right away basically that it's not her. Like,
well, see, I didn't know right away. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I knew like obviously Alex had something to do with it, but it could have been anything up until it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like there was a moment in the movie when he was right before he saw the gun, when the camera pans up to the sky, I was like, oh, is this some fucking alien shit? Like it could have been anything, really.
Another Josh Brolin alien thing.
Because the one thing the movie did do well leading up to it in terms of the marketing was not really give anything away other than the fact that kids go missing. So I was like, I wasn't really thinking about that in terms of like who did what. I was just like, what is actually going on? But like more broadly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it was effective and I think what it wanted to do, and I really enjoyed it, and obviously it opened to very, very wide critical praise. Is it really a return to classic horror? Like I said, I don't really think so fully. I think this was sort of like a hybrid of modern horror movie techniques, I guess, for lack of a better word. If I had to say, it leaned probably more towards that like A24 style of horror, but with a little bit of a sprinkling of more traditional horror storytelling. But who knows? It could mark a return to full form eventually.
I don't think we necessarily need a return if we get movies of this quality.
Not that we need it.
Similar to like Midsommar quality, Hereditary. We don't need to go back to fucking the 80s or whatever. Like this is this is totally fine.
Definitely, but the A24 style, I think, is starting to wear a little bit thin. I think at this, not that it's bad. I like most of the movies are great, but sometimes they start to feel a little bit samey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think this was different enough though that it didn't feel
100%
samey at all.
Absolutely, absolutely. And everybody's loving it. But is there anything else you guys wanted to say about it?
Cast killed it. Great cast.
Yeah.
Cast was awesome. Each person individually was great. They really sold their roles well. Little Alex, played by Carrie Christopher, he was a standout as a child actor. He did a really great job.
Campbell's Noodle Soup.
Yeah, he saved the day.
That was crazy. He had to feed all them
smart little
all
kid.
Those people.
Smart little kid.
See though, do you think those people like just shit their pants or like?
Oh, definitely.
How did that work?
Yeah, that house sunk to high heaven. Forget about it. You know, it's funny too. Like, you know how this is like, I said this was like a fairy tale. It's definitely a fairy tale. This for sure was not my neighborhood. Fucking, if I'd be coming home at 2 a.m. with like White Castle or something, like, where the fuck are all these fucking kids going? Like, what the fuck?
Right. Why didn't nobody see this in real time and follow them kids?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is Johnny
there ain't
doing?
many people out in small town America. Pretty much everything closes between 8 and 10.
Yeah.
Everybody's home sleeping.
But yeah, I thought this was great, and it's a movie that it's smartly done. It trusts its audience to sit with like some uncomfortable things and piece together the mystery and appreciate horror sort of as like an art. It's not just like this adrenaline baked in, like boom, 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 boom thing. One of the things I kept thinking about was that movie with fucking that we watched that we made fun of with the exposition with what's his name, Hugh Grant.
Oh, Heretic.
Like that movie was ridiculous. And like this is like the exact opposite of that.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
If this signals a broader shift in, like I said, horror movies, maybe we're entering a new golden age of horror that honors its roots while still feeling fresh, like you said, Marvin. So
yeah.
I'll be looking out for more of Zach Cregger's work, and I recommend you guys go back and check out Barbarian, because that movie, under this new lens, I have a different appreciation for it now. Yeah. But this has a 7.9 on IMDb, very high. I'm right there. I would give it an 8.5. How about you guys?
I think I'm right there. It's an 8. It's good.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an A, definitely. This is a refreshingly good horror movie.
Yep, definitely. And possibly my favorite horror movie of the year so far.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, what have we even seen?
I mean, Sinners, but I don't really consider Sinners a horror movie per se.
Yeah, no, it's not really.
There was a couple. I mean, was Late Night with the Devil this year or last year? I can't remember.
I think that was last year.
It was Long
Or
Legs
that was
this
even
year,
2023.
probably. Yeah, I don't know. My dates are all fucked up, but
Yep.
Either way, this is my favorite horror movie of the year so far.
Yeah.
This is a good year for horror. There's our thoughts on weapons. Let us know in the comments what you thought. If there's anything we missed, maybe some messages or some themes that we might have not touched on, leave a comment and let us know. That's going to do it for us this week, folks. If you want to stick around and join us next week, we're watching... what are we watching next week? Ninja Turtles. It's Make Marvin Watch week. Next week is Make Marvin Watch. Ninja Turtles is 30 years old or 35 years old. It's getting re-released at the theater, so I thought it'd be a great time to make Marvin watch it for the first time. So if you're interested in hearing his thoughts on that, check back with us next week. If you'd like to watch along with us, we post our schedule in the Discord. It's free to join. You could find that link to the Discord down below in our website link, harshlanguage.tv. Otherwise, we appreciate you hanging out with us, and we will catch you next time.
See ya.
Asta.